High prices, booked up reservations, hyperactive toilets? Yeah, we're back with the toilets, y'all. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Vlog. Now, Disney World might seem like a picture-perfect escape from reality on the outside with all the shiny castle advertisements and upcoming ride releases. I mean, those sell the DFB team on the daily for sure. But don't be fooled by all the glitter and pixie dust. Disney World may be one of the most magical places on Earth, but there are parts about it that we believe should be downright banned for life. These things range from pesky nuisances to downright heartbreaking situations that should be illegal. I'll call out why each planning piece is guilty and sentence you a way to brace yourself for the worst. That way, even though Disney hasn't banned these things themselves, you can still navigate them when they spring up and try to bite you in the rear. All right, the first thing that should be banned is those advanced dining reservations that you have to book at 5:45 in the morning. Yep, 5:45 a.m. That's when Disney World reservations become available 60 days before your trip. To put it in perspective, that's 4:45 for all you Central Time Zone folks and 3:45 for my Mountain Time people. And we're not even going to talk about y'all in California. Maybe this wouldn't be such a bad thing if reservations for the most popular restaurants like Space 220 in Epcot, Be Our Guest Restaurant in Magic Kingdom, and Oga's Cantina in Hollywood Studios didn't book up almost immediately after they went live. If you're looking to book a table at the hottest Disney World restaurants, you almost have to set your alarm to vampire hours to have a chance at snagging a seat. And even then, you're not guaranteed a reservation. Why is this legal again? So here's how to prepare. Having to wake up ridiculously early and still not getting the reservation you were hoping for isn't just disheartening. It just kicks off your vacation on a sour note before you even arrive. Instead of throwing your arms up in defeat just yet, aim for plan B. First, if you don't get that one shining reservation, that doesn't mean you don't need to try getting other reservations. So make sure you still book the rest of the restaurants you're wanting to go to during your trip. More than likely, you'll be able to book the rest of your reservations a bit more easily if you're booking 60 days out, which will help alleviate the heartache just a tad. Now, second, even if you book a reservation at your second choice restaurant, that doesn't mean you have to completely give up on your first love. Continue checking back on the Disney World website and My Disney Experience app every now and then to see if an available time opens up at random. Oftentimes, reservations for popular restaurants will pop back up when someone has to cancel, giving you a second chance of swooping in at the last second. This isn't a foolproof plan, so don't obsess over finding those last-minute reservations, but it does happen. I've gotten an Ohana at the last minute multiple times. And third, don't forget to research fun restaurant alternatives to those hotshot dining spots just in case. For example, if you're wanting to dine at Be Our Guest Restaurant for a certain celebration, consider moving the party over to the Enchanted Rose at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa. This is more of a lounge-like atmosphere, but you'll still be able to sip on an assortment of cocktails and munch on select bites in a grandiose Beauty and the Beast setting. Can't get into Oga's Cantina? You can still dine on intergalactic bites at Docking Bay 7 and Ronto Roasters, both of which are quick service locations in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge that don't require 60-day reservations, meaning no 5:45 wake-up call. And if you're wanting an alcoholic beverage from Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, Ronto Roasters has a selection of those too, as does the Milk Stand, that is if you're into space milk. Now here's the thing, to every super duper popular restaurant, Disney's got about a dozen more that are also super immersive, super delicious, and I know you're gonna love. Now if you're looking for an entire list of all the restaurants and my personal ranking of each, check out our DFB ranking series next. That way you'll be more than prepared just in case you need a backup plan. Okay, Disney World resorts, you are guilty of walls so thin we're surprised they're not transparent. All right, it doesn't matter whether you're staying in a value, moderate, or deluxe Disney World resort. You're still going to be experiencing a room with super thin walls. We've stayed in our fair share of Disney hotels over the years, meaning we've heard it all. Our neighbor's wake-up alarm on their phone, crying kids, our neighbor's alarm again after they've hit the snooze, early risers or night owls running down the hallways filled with energy that's both annoying and admirable all at the same time, our neighbor's alarm again when they decided to hit the snooze again, giggling kiddos and teens that just can't go to sleep because they're hyped up on sugar, and still that same alarm for the fourth time. Oh my gosh, please someone take away the snooze function, please. I have even, and I know I've told you guys this before, listened to someone actually go to the bathroom in their room above mine multiple times. So yeah, obviously you see where I stand on this matter. You're not always going to run into overly noisy resort stays, but when you do wind up next to guests who are, excitable, it's frustrating, especially when you're trying to be well rested for a full day in the parks. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure I've been that person before for other people next door. Especially when I do voiceovers at like 1 o'clock in the morning when I get back to my room. I'm sure that's just not their favorite. So here's how to prepare. It's unrealistic to start a petition for Disney World to invest in better soundproof walls. That's just not going to happen. we know that. But we can brace ourselves for potentially noisy nights. First, if you or someone in your group is a light sleeper, then you'll want to pack things like earplugs and white noise machines. I get you, lugging around a noise machine can be a pain. If you're looking for a more portable alternative, look into downloading free white noise apps on your phone. Just search white noise in your app store search engine. You'll find a selection of free apps with noises ranging from fans or gentle rain and crashing waves, and it's all zen and cool. Next, if noise is a big no-no in your books, consider booking a Fort Wilderness cabin. These cabins not only sleep up to 6 adults with a separate bedroom area and kitchen, but they're also located in the great outdoors. And unlike the other hotel rooms, these are freestanding cabins, meaning you don't have to worry about being directly attached to a neighbor. The price range for these is moderate, actually, ranging around the $400 per night average. And yes, that is moderate in Disney World, believe it or not. But if you're looking to save even more money on a quieter stay, you may want to consider one of the Airbnbs in the area. Just make sure you look over those ratings ahead of time. And third, if you're traveling with younger kids who need midday naps or have an early bedtime, request a room away from the main pools and elevators. Any areas that see a lot of hustle and bustle, like connecting hallways, also get pretty noisy, especially when people are getting ready to rope drop a park in the morning. This is especially important to remember if you're planning on staying at a value hotel. Though each resort has its faults when it comes to thin wall syndrome, value resorts usually have the greatest volume of families with younger kiddos, so you're more likely to have a noisier stay there. Okay, next thing that should be banned in Disney World, how about those gift shops that are guilty of draining our funds right before our very eyes? Price check on basically every single Disney gift shop. Let's say you were going to Disney World and you bought 3 different souvenirs, a Spirit jersey, a Nuimo plush, and a cute bag. Sounds reasonable, right? Before you start popping those tags, you might want to look at them first. After their price spike last summer, one Spirit jersey on Disney World property will now cost you around $74.99. Nuimos also saw a price increase last summer, raising them from $17.99 to $19.99. And that's not even including those outfits you buy for them. If you want to get your new little buddy a matching Spirit jersey and tiny designer Loungefly backpack, then that Spirit jersey and backpack's going to run you $21.99 each, which is more than the actual Nuimo. And how about the backpack for you? Disney's designer bags range in price, but if you're eyeballing one from Loungefly, you're going to pay $70 to $80 per bag. So even though you've spent money on just 3 souvenirs, your grand total ranges between a whopping $165 to $219. It is a lot. So how do you prepare for this? Well, I don't want to see that little cartoon fly buzz out of your wallet when you open it up, so let's plan to save some moolah on these criminally high prices. First, for items like I listed above, Spirit jerseys, Nuimos, Loungeflies, double check and make sure shopdisney.com isn't already selling the thing you want to purchase. Lots of times the Shop Disney website will not only have the more common Disney Parks merchandise available, so you can purchase it sometime when you replenish your funds after you get back home, but they will often mark down these items during annual sales or limited time discounts. Even as I was doing research for this video, I kept coming across Loungefly bags on the Shop Disney website that had been marked down to $49.98 instead of their usual $70. Second, much like I showed you a typical range for 3 popular Disney souvenirs, it's important to do your research on item prices ahead of time. That way you aren't slapped with sticker shock each time you stumble across a merch piece and go, oh, that's what I need. Typically, you'll probably want to budget around $200 to $250 for merchandise purchases alone. If you're someone who loves bringing home a memento or 2 from your travels, definitely put that in your trip budget. And third, there aren't cheap Disney souvenirs per se, but there are cheaper options you can look into if you're just looking to bring home a small trinket from your big vacation. Disney pins, for instance, range in price between $9 and $15. Pressed Disney-themed pennies located throughout each of the parks cost $1 each. Magnets cost around $15. Disney art postcards, most commonly found in the back portion of Marketplace Co-op in Disney Springs, will usually run you around $5. Epcot Festival scavenger hunts, complete with game board and prize, range between $7 and $10. And celebration buttons, well, those are free. Just ask a cast member at the front desk of your hotel or pick one up from guest relations at any of the parks. Bonus 4th point, Disney's hotel gift shops don't just sell fun merchandise. They also sell necessities like diapers, ibuprofen, deodorant, and other medications and toiletries that you might have forgotten to pack. Hey, there's a lot of stuff to remember, okay? Don't beat yourself up if an item on your packing list happens to slip through the cracks. It happens to me every single trip. But much like the overpriced merch here, necessities are also wildly upcharged at these hotel gift shops. If you're looking to save money on a last-minute emergency item, you can either A, order said item from a grocery delivery delivery service like Amazon Fresh or Instacart, or B, leave the Disney bubble for a second to grab those necessities at a nearby big box store or pharmacy. If you need to take a rideshare to get to one of these stores, make sure you have multiple items on your shopping list first. The cost of an Uber or Lyft ride to and from the store for one item will end up costing you way more than just picking up that same item with that big ol' upcharge from a Disney gift shop. But if you have your own car, then you can track down a CVS or Walgreens within minutes from your hotel room. Next on our list of things that should be banned in Disney World, early park closings. They are guilty of not even running it by us first. Park hours are notorious for switching up, even at the last minute. Normally, Magic Kingdom, Epcot, and Hollywood Studios are open until 9 p.m. throughout the week, while Disney's Animal Kingdom closes around 8 p.m. And of course, during very, very busy times, those time frames are even later. But there are some times throughout the year that Disney parks will close even earlier than normal to accommodate an after-hours event, private party, or cast member celebration. No, events and parties shouldn't be banned, but what should be banned are ticket prices not being discounted on the day of these early closures. When Magic Kingdom has their after-hours events going on during Halloween and Christmas, all those who only bought a regular park ticket but not after-hours ticket will have to leave the park around 7 p.m. or earlier to make way for the after-hours guests. And the wild thing is, these single-day ticket prices are still some of the highest you'll find throughout the year. Single-day ticket prices in October range between $126 to $129 per person, and December tickets range between $127 and $141 per person. And you're only getting part of the day. Here's an upcoming example for you. On April 6th, Disney's Hollywood Studios will be closing at 5 p.m. The rest of that week, completely normal. But on that random Wednesday, your park day is going to be cut 4 hours short. And since all ticket prices are the same across all 4 parks, you're still going to have to pay around $147 per single day ticket. That means no dinner, no fireworks, no nighttime rides on Tower of Terror, and still paying full price. So how do you prepare for this? Sure, you can be drug out of the park screaming and crying the day of an early closure, but if you ever want to show your face around the parks again and not wind up banned yourself, perhaps there's a more graceful way to approach the situation. First, Disney's opening and closing times will always be posted in advance. So before you map out your vacation, double check the calendar on the Disney World website and see what the hours look like for the parks you're planning on visiting. Though 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. is the average time frame for the Disney World parks, that doesn't mean those times will always be what you should expect, even on non-event days. So it's better to see what's officially posted on the website rather than assume what's posted there. Second, if those short hour days just so happen to be the only time you'll be able to hit up a park during your quick Disney getaway, then you might want to invest in a park hopper for an extra $65 per ticket. That way, once 2 p.m. rolls around, you'll be able to jump over to another park that'll remain open later. Third, even if a park has a shortened day, it'll more often than not still open at its usual time, meaning you can still have a pretty full day and get your money's worth in the parks if you go at rope drop or earlier. On April 6th in Hollywood Studios, you'll still find the park opens at 9 a.m. So if you decide to use your early theme park entry benefit, which will get Disney Resort and select Good Neighbor hotel guests into the parks 30 minutes before the official opening time, you can start your Hollywood Studios day as early as 8:30 a.m., which still gives you a solid 8.5 hours in the park. If you're not huge on the whole fireworks or nighttime spectacular scene, this still could be the day you want to go, but I don't think so. Okay, next on our list of things that should be banned, taking pictures and recording on rides. Okay, this one really grinds our gears, and we know it does for you too. Let's say you wait over an hour to ride Frozen Ever After. You finally hop on the ride, excited to see Anna, Kristoff, and Olaf once again, and then the person in front of you decides to record the whole thing. So instead of seeing Elsa belt out Let It Go, you see John Doe's arm holding up a smartphone. So magic, much wow. So how to prepare? My initial response is to say, get this person's attention and politely let them know you can't see, but I know that not everyone feels comfortable doing that, so here are a few other suggestions to keep in mind. First, if you're worried about someone blocking your view via phone or camera, it never hurts to ask the cast member at the front of the attraction if you can wait for a first row seat. They won't always be able to accommodate this request, but if they can, you'll more than likely have to wait a couple of turns before you'll be able to board the ride in front center. Second, not every ride will be completely ruined by a recording, as long as the flash stays off. After all, camera flash in any attraction really is banned in Disney World, so if you want to stay on Disney's good side, best you keep that light off. If you're someone who plans on recording a snippet of the ride, just be mindful of where your arm is positioned. And in the opposite vein of what I said before, if you want to record a portion for your social media, you may want to request a seat in the back of the ride. That's what we always do. Sure, you're not going to get that up front and center picture, but you should still get pretty clear footage and remain courteous to those around you. Third, if you're trying to take pictures and recordings just for memory's sake, don't forget about PhotoPass. Many of the Disney rides have in-ride photo ops, and some, like Seven Dwarfs Mine Train in Magic Kingdom and Tower of Terror in Hollywood Studios, even have on-ride video footage. So if you love collecting memories and facial expressions from your time on the rides, then invest in a PhotoPass before your trip. And the next thing that we think should be banned in Disney World, bathrooms. No, not really bathrooms, but bathrooms flushing while you're still using them. While I appreciate the toilet's enthusiasm, I would prefer if it would wait to flush until we're done using it. There are a lot of benefits to self-flushing toilets. The main one, not having to touch the handle to flush. Hooray, fewer germs. But some of these self-flushing toilets will sense any tiny movement and flush before you've even had a chance to stand up. And getting sprayed with toilet water did not make my list of must-dos in Disney World. All jokes aside though, this can be really tough for parents who are still in the process of potty training their kiddos. Honestly, this is why I wanted to put this one in here. That sudden loud flush is like a jump scare even for me. So imagine what it's like to a 2-year-old. So how to prepare? Kind of weird to prepare for a self-flushing toilet system, right? But again, we're helping you plan for Disney and we are not fooling around. If your kiddo is nervous when it comes to those self-flushing toilets, it's not a bad idea to invest in some Post-it notes. This is a great tip I got from Erin Foster, who was inaugural Disney Moms panelist 150 years ago. Just kidding, Erin, you're super, super young and so am I. But this way, you can cover the sensor without having to directly touch the sensor yourself. Just don't flush the Post-it note after. Make sure you're throwing it away in the trash. Otherwise, you might wind up accidentally clogging a Disney toilet. But putting that little Post-it over the sensor means that your kiddo can use the facility and walk out before the actual flush happens. Second, you can track down the baby care centers in the parks. Though most of the in-park bathrooms will have automatic flushing porcelain thrones, the baby care center bathrooms do not. Third, practice makes perfect. It might be a good idea to track down a self-flushing toilet at your local mall or big box store and take it for a spin ahead of time. That way you can get some self-flushing potty training practice in during a low-stakes environment before your trip. Now, in a perfect vacation planning world, we wouldn't have to stress over these things, but in the meantime, we can stay informed and have a backup plan ready to go, just in case we do come across these situations during those Disney World trips. So thanks for listening, y'all. Thanks for watching. Please let us know below the things you think should be banned in Disney World. I know it's going to be an entertaining comment section. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.